So it was fun to try to make that team good, but that team really did have a lot of weaknesses. So I haven't been successful in past attempts to make them a good team that quickly.
Within that '89
Within with
season.
yeah within 89, 90, 91, you
Okay.
can rebuild them pretty easily, but it's hard to really put them in win now mode, especially because you don't generally get big payrolls to work with.
Right. Right. And the '89, they were just a couple years removed from that season where they lost, what was it, 20 some games to start the year or
Yeah,
whatever.
21 it was to start
Yeah.
1988.
Yeah.
That was a bad year.
88. Yeah. I remember when they just kept losing and losing to start that season.
Yeah, I was that was the first opening day game I ever went to. I remember they gave out free calendars, and the game was so bad that by the seventh inning, most of the calendars had been made into paper airplanes, and they kept having to kind of have the grounds crew keep sweeping them off.
Right. One of those ill-advised giveaways.
I swear it was like 12 to nothing, but I can't verify that this second. I'm
Right.
trying to see, because you know how memory is. Sometimes you get your memories confused. So I'm hoping that I'm not. Yep, 12 to nothing. Okay, that wasn't a confused memory. Good. Well, because you know how it is. Sometimes a player will give kind of some kind of anecdote from playing, and then people will look it up and find it never happens. You're like, damn memory, our memories don't work right.
Right.
Okay, well, we have a question from Big Chabowski. Does anyone play every game as GM manager? I feel like I try to and then get bogged down and want to move forward. Yeah, that's one of the problems in because the scopes of a GM and a manager are different. When you're GMing, you're looking at the big picture, so you don't want to wait years for it to happen. You want it to happen in a few days in your game. But when you're a manager, you're focusing more on the day to day. So I only in when I'm playing, I tend to pick a role to take. I tend to go towards the GM part more often, but it usually works best to kind of pick a side.
So you don't play out games that much?
I do at times, and I especially play out important games. It depends what I'm doing. If I'm a manager, then I will play out games. But right now I'm a GM, and I'm not gonna pull a Marlins. I'm not gonna pull a Dan Jennings and hire myself as the manager after I fire Ryan Sandberg. I'd
Okay.
like to present the new manager, me, and the new
Um,
first baseman, me.
Me, right. Exactly. Player, the first player slash manager slash GM
Yeah, slash broadcaster slash
slash. Right.
owner. Gonna take over from Montgomery's kid.
Exactly. Exactly. Push him out of the way and take over.
But really, kind of any type of baseball game you play, it's hard to play every game. Even if it's like MLB The Show on PlayStation, you're playing with your reflexes and stuff. You want to get through the season. You want to play a lot of games, but you want to play 162 before you get to the because you want to get new players. You want to go to the off season.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I remember seeing actually someone on our forum once. I remember seeing a couple years ago, and I don't know if he's still doing this, but he had a game that he was playing. He was playing every inning of every game, and had been doing
Wow.
so for several years, and would get through maybe a quarter of a season
Yeah, then
each
it
version
runs
of the
out.
game, and then import it into the next version of the game next year. But that's what I don't know. That takes a lot of dedication because usually I might play out a couple games and then I get impatient and start simming ahead. I can't do that.
Yeah, because a lot of times you want to get to your next challenge. Um,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You feel like you're kind of getting bogged down in the weeds when you're playing through every game. I mean, just kind of making all those little decisions that are not going to make a big deal in the big kind of, they're not going to be a big deal in the big picture view, and you want to move forward and do some wheeling dealing, trade some players, sign some contract extensions. But I do play out playoff games. I figure if I'm gonna choke in the playoffs, it's gonna be on me.
there was actually a few surprises in the season I played. Mike Trout did not lead the league in WAR.
Wow.
which surprised me. It was
Yeah.
Bogarts. It was Xander
Oh.
Bogarts.
Oh.
8.1 WAR. I wanted to call that up. It's on the screen now. He led the majors in WAR. I don't think. Of course, Miguel Cabrera got not the Cy Young, the MVP award, but it was Bogarts that led the league in WAR, which was surprising. And as we were talking about, it's fun to be surprised, and I was quite surprised. Yeah, we
What
have
happened
all.
to what happened to Trout? Because usually he usually always does really well when it comes to
Well, here, let me pull
just
up
kind of the
the
work
Angels
in.
and get his line. I don't think he was injured. He just didn't have an amazing year. Um,
Just
yeah,
just
I
just
mean,
to
he had
make
a
it
normal All-Star season instead of his crazy years.
right.
I have him up. He must have been injured at some point because he only played in 136 games, 5 WAR, but his OPS was under 900, which was a surprise. 'Cause it's hard to simulate a season without Trout dominating pretty easily. Um, he's kind of a
Yeah,
dominating force and kind of the first pick in any kind of draft, in any kind of format, in any kind of context. It's hard not to take Trout because you can't not take Trout. Uh,
right,
but but
right.
but that was a
It's
big surprise.
what's interesting. He only had 76 RBIs with 31 home runs. I wonder, guys hitting ahead of him weren't getting on base or something.
Now Jose Reyes had a really good year too. He was up there in WAR. He was leading the WAR into September actually, and staying healthy, which doesn't always happen.
Right.
I have him up now. He had a 6 WAR season. I have all the leaders up. I don't know if they've popped up on your screen yet, because we do have a good 15-second delay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we've got that that delay there. Uh, yeah, I did see them. Who won the World Series in
The Dodgers won
2015?
the series. Here,
Over who?
the Tigers. We
Oh,
actually one of the outcomes I had the most likely. Here's the series. The wild card. The Rockies actually snagged a wild card spot, which did surprise me.
yeah, that's interesting.
You can see the World Series. It
That's
wasn't the
over
most dramatic World Series. It was 4-1. Uh,
over the
that was
Mariners.
the
Yeah.
Dodgers Cardinal series was pretty much one of the only close ones in my playoff, because the Rockies got swept, the Nationals got swept. Um, what was I looking for? I was getting the pitching statistics so people could see them. Um, I think Wainwright got the Cy Young. I'm not positive. Is that still in my news? History. Where are the awards? I always forget where the past awards are. You know offhand what the best
Uh,
setting is? Because I'm past the season now. Can I still find it under
right.
news,
Yeah.
awards? Oh, there we go. Tulowitzki and Votto were 1-2. Cabrera, Bogarts, and Trout. Cy Young. Oh, no, it was Strasburg over Wainwright and Bumgarner. Did I thought Kershaw had a pretty good season. Let me fire him up. Sorry, I'm kind of random here because now I'm thinking, did this happen? Did that happen? Um, well, for Kershaw, that's a weak season. On Kershaw standards.
Right. How do you do in the playoffs now?
Oh, let's see. I assume I've never actually thought about it, but I assume that the awards are tallied before the playoffs, like in real life, or is that taken in consideration in the model? Do you know offhand?
I don't know offhand, but they should happen before they should be tallied before the playoffs.
See,
I
I
would
would
hope they
figure
are.
that would. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was just kind of. Oh, the this. No, 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 no. Where are you? I lost you. Well, anyway. Oh. Well, anyway. It is always fun to see. Oh, I did not see that Iglesias had such a great year. I would imagine that there's quite a bit of variance with Iglesias. Raisel Iglesias of the Reds. He apparently went to the Astros at some point by trade. That's interesting. So that's the thing. When you're done playing a season, you get caught up in all the other things that happen that you want to check on. How did that guy do? How did he do? So now I'm kind of randomly jumping around out of curiosity to see what happened where. Oh, they traded him to the Astros. I'm surprised.
Hmm.
Good guy in the clubhouse.
For a couple
waves.
prospects, huh?
That appears to be. I can see the Reds doing some trades, but not Iglesias. They're far enough out that they might actually give up. I didn't think that would happen. Oh, there's Kershaw. He had a pretty good World Series, a couple home runs, but 22 strikeouts and 3 walks. Man, they killed King Felix. Oh, it was the Mariners, not the
Yeah.
What did I say?
Yeah, you had said the Tigers.
Oh, the Tigers.
No.
Where did the Tigers go?
Mariners.
Oh, the Tigers lost to the Mariners in the ALCS. Sorry.
Right.
Well, that is not looking as likely as because the Mariners are still below 500 as we speak. So that is a longer shot to happen. Oh yeah, that was a big trade. Goldschmidt for Lucroy. Let's open that. Yeah, that was one that I was like, whoa, that was crazy. I was surprised. That's one of those star for star trades. Whoops, that's my. No one ever wanted Ryan Howard. It was very sad. And here you can see the off-season signings. Because right now I'm in January, so we're getting close to spring training. Ben Zobrist went to the Giants. Jeff Samardzija went to Colorado. I don't think that's going to end well for Samardzija if he goes to Colorado. The Rangers brought in Upton. Interesting stuff. Always fun. Oh, and the Cardinals traded Wong for Jumbo Diaz. That I don't think that the Cardinals would do that. Oh, but he had a really bad season too.
Wong did?
No, it wasn't that bad. Well, it's always hard to keep track of everything that happens, no matter how hard you try.
So someone was asking how you handle the amateur draft and what kinds of players you target.
Well, I do tend to invest in a excellent scouting director because really you're not actually going to get to see the players play. Can I get back to my draft? I'm trying to figure out. Is there any way to see the previous year's drafted players? Oh, Dan. Do you know offhand what a good menu for that would be if there is one? There should be one. Because, see, now we're kind of going into archive territory.
Right.
Since the season finished. Actually, it might be under... Well, anyway, I do tend to invest a lot in my scouting director because really, since you're not actually seeing these players, since it's not real life, obviously, he's kind of your conduit to information. Because if you don't have the in-game information, which might not exactly match reality, because remember, you can't just look at the real life mock draft. Oh, I didn't scroll that off. Okay, I'm going to make sure I didn't scroll everything off the screen. You can't look at the real-life mock draft and say, okay, we'll just draft it that way, because a simulation is going to have a random aspect to it. So your in-game scouting director is kind of an important conduit of information. I don't tend to draft for position. In baseball, it's a long path to the majors. Players can be traded. I don't draft for a particular need. I try to draft the best player available. I mix upside and floor. I don't just focus on high school players or just focus on college players. I think when you limit your strategy that way, in a game, just like in real life, because it's the same basic concept. If you limit yourself in that way, you miss out on quality. I did get Dansby Swanson, who dropped to pick 6 for me, so I did take him. in real life, he's almost certainly going to go to the first to the Diamondbacks. But I got Swanson, so I think he's